Thank you for being here to listen to this story and letting me talk for 15 minutes on something that I'm really passionate about, the Maronan project in northwest Queensland. We talk about this as being the silver development story with more, and I'll explain that during this talk. This talk should be taken in conjunction with these notices and disclaimers which can be found on our website and on the ASX platform. Maronan has a large silver, lead and copper gold resource. We talk about being the silver development story with more. We have 122 million ounces of silver in our current resource. We also have 2 million tonnes of lead, 270,000 tonnes of copper, and 760,000 ounces of gold. If we were to think about this on a silver equivalent basis, it's somewhere between a 300 to 350 million ounce silver equivalent deposit, or for those people more familiar thinking about gold, somewhere between a 4 to 5 million ounce gold deposit. You may or may not have seen that the company is currently in a trading halt, pending an announcement related to a preliminary economic analysis or scoping study that we have sort of forecast as being due out this quarter. We think we've got a team with the right credentials to turn this discovery into a mine, and I'll discuss that more later. And we're located in northwest Queensland, in an area with good existing regional processing capacity, established roads and rails. Perhaps more importantly, since the most recent state election, we've also got a very supportive government who have lit a fire under the Critical Minerals Department and are very keen to get new mines permitted and built. Maronan have just over 200 million shares on issue and a market cap of around $60 million. Red Metals, our largest shareholder, vended the project into the IPO in 2022 and still hold around 44% of the company. The Joshua Pitt-backed Perth Capital also hold around 8.6% of our stock, and we have research coverage provided by Trent Allen from GBA Capital. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the team at Maronan. Richard Carton, our Managing Director, is currently on a temporary leave, but we hope that he'll be back with us in the next couple of months. He brings a wealth of mining engineering experience. He started life as an underground mining engineer at Rosebery on the number 11 level in 1978 and has worked at numerous operations across Australia and New Zealand during his career. Simon Bird, our independent chairman, has a 30-year history in corporate finance and has held executive roles with Stockland, GrainCorp and Wizard Home Loans. Rob Rutherford, who represents Red Metal on the board, is an exploration geologist with a strong connection to northwest Queensland and has been involved in the Maronan project since 2001. We recently appointed Matt Hine as an independent director to the company, and he brings a strong operational background, having been a mine manager for Evolution Mining at Frog's Leg and a general manager for Oceana Gold at the Waihi and Macraes operation, and has more recent executive experience as the COO of Adriatic Resources, building the Rapis project in Bosnia. Dean Fredrickson, our project director, is a geologist with a very strong pedigree. He's previously been the geology manager at the Cadia Valley operations and as well as geology manager for Evolution Mining at the Lake Cowal and Red Lake projects. He was also the COO with Aurelia Resources during construction of the Hera plant in the Cobar region. Our project is in northwest Queensland, 65 kilometres southeast of Cloncurry. For those familiar with AIC Mine's Eloise project, it is across the road. You turn off 15 kilometres To the east is Eloise, and 5 kilometres to the west of the highway is Maronan. We are less than 5 kilometres from a sealed highway. It's also only 40 kilometres to the nearest rail yard, which gives us options in terms of how we might ship a potential concentrate in the future. While we think that in the long term, the best scenario for Maronan would be to have its own processing plant on site at the project, there are numerous processing facilities within the district that have capacity at the moment and would be amenable to processing the silver, lead and the copper gold styles of ores that we have at Maronan. We have a large silver lead resource. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I can't help where I was born. I was born in Melbourne. I'm a Mexican. But that means that I follow AFL, and my team, Hawthorn, is playing this week at the MCG and most likely next week too. The MCG has a volume of 1.5 million cubic metres. If I was to fill that with rock from Maronan, I would get 4 to 4.5 million tonnes of material into the MCG. Within this area that we call the starter zone, we have just over 12 million tonnes of material. That fills the MCG 3 times. Within the broader project, just looking at the silver lead mineralisation, you would fill the MCG nearly 8 times. The mineralisation has a strike of a kilometre, and it's been drilled to 1,200 metres below surface where it remains open. We are a small company. We don't have the funds to drill this out completely. So we picked an area, somewhat arbitrarily, where we saw the best grades close to surface and called this area the starter zone. We think that if we can get this up and proved up, we can start a mine here, which will unlock the full potential of this deposit. And this has been the focus of our drilling since 2022. We announced an update to the resource in June this year. The most important thing in that is that we more than doubled our indicated resource, previously 2.1 million tonnes, to now 5.3 million tonnes. The resource that we have within the starter zone for the lead-silver mineralisation is only 1/3 of the global silver-lead resource. Although we can't bank on it for the whole of the deposit, it was very pleasing that we got near 100% conversion from inferred to indicated resources within the starter zone during our most recent campaign. The copper-gold system has a strike of 250 to 300 metres and is immediately adjacent to the lead-silver mineralisation. It too has been drilled to 1,200 metres below surface, and we have an existing EM plate that is associated with the copper mineralisation that extends at least 300 metres below our deepest hole. As we've drilled deeper into the system, it seems to get wider, in some places up to nearly 50 metres in true width, which may offer potential for bulk mining scenarios in the future. Something that I think people don't necessarily grasp is that if we build the mine for the silver lead, that will pay for all the infrastructure that needs to go into. So the incremental cost of exploiting the copper gold mineralisation is actually quite low. Earlier this year, we lodged an application with the Queensland Government for a mineral development lease. And now this is a stepping stone between our current exploration licence and a full mining licence. As part of that application, we're seeking approval to put in a box cut and an exploration decline, which will allow us to get 200 metres underground, to do underground infill drilling of our deposit, but also to put in some development to take bulk samples of the mineralisation and see what it actually looks like. As a geologist, I think we've done a pretty good job in getting the geology right. But we're dealing with drill core that's about the size of this in holes that are 50 metres apart. So getting down and opening up the ore body it will help us to de-risk the project and make sure that we are right in terms of thinking what we think is happening. That application is currently being assessed, and we are hopeful that we will get a Christmas present with the department telling us that approval comes in before the end of this year. That would allow us to potentially start construction of the project next year. As I mentioned, we're currently in a trading halt pending an announcement regarding the PEA. I'm a geologist. I want to get a rig spinning again at this project. There's such a big resource, such a lot of opportunity here, that I just want to get going, drill more holes, convert more resource and continue building confidence in this project. We're anticipating we will receive our MDL approval by the end of this year, which would enable the exploration decline project to commence next year. That's probably around about an 18-month to 2-year build project, and our intention would be to run a feasibility study in parallel with that. We are probably actually quite close to being in a position to be able to submit a mining licence application. There is a bit more work to do on some of the environmental parameters, but it'd be our intention to get that lodged as soon as practical. And that would all lead to a decision, that would all be required prior to a final investment decision. I'd like to leave you with a couple of thoughts: confidence, growth, progress, and how that converts to opportunity in Maronan Metals. We have a small but experienced team who have the skills to realise the opportunity that is Maronan. We're in a Tier 1 jurisdiction with a supportive government who want to get projects built. And we have a large, geologically robust resource. We have some multi-metal exposure. Silver and lead really are the key drivers of this project. And we are excited that the silver price is going up, but I keep telling everyone the only thing better than being a silver developer with the current silver prices is actually selling the silver and realising the money, the profit. And we're also leveraged to the copper gold opportunity we have. Our scoping study is imminent. We've commenced a staged permitting pathway to turn this discovery into a mine. And we have multiple development options, whether we build our own plant or toll treat or consider some sort of mixture of the two. Please come and see us at the booth if you'd like to find out more. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.